Yesterday, I got a message from one of my friends who is earning decent salary and he wants to build a house in the next 3 years. Now he's asking, he wants to save at least 3 million Kenyan shillings and he wants to invest in a very secure environment so that he cannot lose money. So he's asking, can I invest in money market fund or special fund? Is quite confused. Now, what he told me is that most of those people talking about special funds, those who are talking about money market fund, they actually don't talk much about the difference and which one is safe. Many of them are talking about the interest rate and how you are going to make a lot of money. Special fund has been doing well for the past few years. And right now, among the investments we have in Kenya, it has the highest return actually. But you don't know what will happen in future. We're going into elections. I don't know what is going to happen. So if you are faced with this challenge, you want to invest some money and you don't want to lose it, then I can advise money market fund is the best. Because here they are going to invest in treasury bills. They are going to invest in things which are very safe, like fixed deposit account or fixed deposits. These things are safe. They are going to invest in unit trusts, which are safe. You're not going to lose your money. So when you invest money in money market fund, you are very safe. You may get lower interest rates, but at least you are sure you are not going to lose your money because money market fund is fully regulated by the Capital Markets Authority, which means if they play games with your money, they might lose their license. They might be punished or penalized. So it is safe. What about special fund? Of course, special fund will guarantee interest rate of at least 15%. You'll get 15% per year up to 25%, but you're not guaranteed. It can even go below negative, even below 0%. Therefore, you lose your principal amount. That is all about special funds. So if you are planning long term, for example, 3 years, 5 years, then you should have extra money. Don't rely on this cash because you might get interest of 18% this year. Then in 2029, you lose all your money because they invested in derivatives, they invested in offshore stock, and those stocks generated losses. Therefore, you lose your cash. And some of these things depend on credit, where they invest. Even this company, sometimes they may deviate from the original objective. They may try to invest here on certain products, but they end up investing in different products and they lose the cash. So special funds come with some risks, more risks than money market fund. And when things are exposed, when investments are exposed to more risks, they guarantee higher returns. That's why if you weigh the interest rate between money market fund and special fund, you will see that you discover that special funds offer higher interest rate. And sometimes when the deal is too good, you have to think twice. That's why Capital Markets Authority warned special fund companies not to play games with funds for clients or customers. They have to be honest. When they are disclosing information, they have to be transparent. They have to tell the customer this is where we're going to invest and this is the interest rate you're going to get. Because nowadays, you find there are some special funds which will promise interest rate of 20%, but they end up yielding less than 15%, and you cannot question them. So they have to be realistic. But in money market fund, at least they are realistic. You'll see the consistency. If this year interest was 11% for a specific company, then next year you expect it to be between 9 and 12% or 13%. There is no variation uh, variation at all. And even if there's a variation, it is more. But in special funds, if you get 18% this year, you are not guaranteed that next year you'll get 15% to 18% or to 20%. You might get even 2% or 25%. So this special fund mostly is for people who have some extra cash surplus, which they are ready to lose. So if you are going to build a home with that cash, then be prepared to lose it or to gain. So that's why I said I cannot promise you or guarantee that special fund will generate the income that you want. So you better go for money market fund. And while you're investing, for those ones who are investing, if you go for money market fund, make sure you look at the company you're investing with. Some of these companies have got cases, court cases. They collected money. There's a company which collected money from customers. They were dealing with the real estate and also this money market fund, even fixed income fund, and many others. They collected money and they never delivered. So you have to be very careful. Go online. If you identify a company, go online and do some research. Does this company have a court case? What about their CEO, senior managers? If you find that there's something pointing towards that, then leave it. That's where some Kenyans go wrong. They also do that when it comes to circles. When you're joining a circle, you have to know the owners of that circle, the founders. If it's owned by a big institution like Safaricom, National Police, then be sure you are not going to lose your money. But if it's owned by a small church or some 2, 3 people, then you have you have to be careful. There are high chances you are going to lose your money, and people have lost money before. So those are the things you are supposed to look at before you invest. And when it comes to money market fund, there are some companies which have operated for many years. People have trust in those companies, and that's where you find these wealth people. You are told wealth people, one of the ways they invest money is through money market fund. They have invested heavily in these companies. That's why you find their interest is a bit low. You find their interest is 7%, 9%, because they manage billions of money and they have been trusted for long. So they don't invest to please, but they deliver real results. So that is the difference. And if you want to invest, you try money market fund, and special fund.